Sorry about the over dramatic lighting, it's the sun. Can't really turn it off. Okay, so in this video I'm going to talk about basically my most sort of recommended mods for improving occult gameplay, all things to do with different occults. As with my other videos on mods, obviously this is just the ones that I am familiar with. It's particular creators that I've come across and I really like what they've done. Obviously I'm sure there are loads and loads of very talented mod creators out there that I have missed out because I just haven't come across them. So if you know of any others, please let me know in the comments. I always like exploring more. But I wanted to do a video on specifically focusing on sort of occult gameplay because I feel like maybe it's a bit niche. I don't know. You don't seem to see people talking about it as much. There's a lot of mods sort of for family gameplay get discussed, but I feel like occults get a little bit neglected because I know not everyone likes playing with them, but I think there's a lot of people that do, and a lot of them are quite lackluster in the game at the moment, and mods can fix that. So I have a list, some of my favourite ones to take a look at. Now these are in no particular order, so I don't read anything into that. So first up, harping back to Snowy95, which I have mentioned her several times already, I think, because his mods over a range of different topics, so to speak. So there's a couple of ones in particular. There's lots of little random ones. She's released a number of random traits over the years, but I'm not sure they're all being updated now. But she's collected an awful lot of them together in a supernatural pack. I think it's called like a supernatural game pack. Obviously there's a link below to the Patreon post. At the moment I believe a couple of those traits need updating, and as I'm recording this she posted on Twitter that she's doing it at the moment. But as you can see, that has a lot of very fun traits in it. You've got things for a pixie trait, zombie trait, werewolf trait. You've got a ton of aspirations. You've also got lot traits for like graveyard, fairy, Hannah, apocalyptic ground, that kind of thing. So if you are one of those people that laments the fact that we don't have more options for making particular occults, then we don't have, you know, fairies and werewolves and so on, then at least for now the solution is to get these traits. Obviously these are just traits. You're going to need a certain amount of CC to actually make them, but I will be talking about that at the end. You have CC, which will allow you to make any manner of fairies, werewolves, you name it. You can make it if you want to. Another thing, particularly with you'll find with Snowy95 in particular, she is obviously the creator of the Harry Potter pack, which is quite well known. Again, I've linked this in the description, the post about it. But yes, this is also, I know, currently being updated. Last time I checked it still worked fine, but I know she's currently working on updating it, expanding the range of spells and so on. But this will give you an aspiration for each Hogwarts house. It also gives you a full set of the classes, and you also get, was it aspirations for Snape's apprentice, Minerva's apprentice? You get various traits that go with it. It's quite extensive. So, and again, there's a ton of CC that you can get with that as well. That will complement that. You can download Hogwarts in the gallery, I believe, and things like that. So yes, that is definitely worth a look. Okay, so another one you definitely want to check out, which is Zero. Again, link to the Patreon below. Scroll through, you will find a ton of stuff. There's tons and tons of very useful things from here anyway. And and just extra fun little mods and whatever. But specifically in terms of the occult things, some things I particularly love is this fantastic hybrid option here. You get vampire witches. I've also linked the website, so if you want to look there. A very important thing to bear in mind is if you download any mods from Zero, you also need to have, there's a little mod on there called Ability to Read, which because I don't really know that much about modding. I honestly don't know what it is, but it does tell you need to download that for any of the mods, so please do. But the vampire witches are great fun. What that allows you to do is your vampires can become spellcasters without losing their vampire ability, because at the moment the game doesn't allow you to have hybrids. That will do so. You can also then add in, you'll get an extra sage in the Realm of Magic, which will be the Sage of Vampiric Witchcraft. You can see her wandering around it. So yes, if you look at my gameplay videos that I have, well, there's obviously one here, but there's also on the pack reviews. If you've seen that, you may have noticed this vampire appearing and disappearing around the Realm of Magic and thought, what's that? Yeah, it does not come in the game. That is this mod. She's quite hard to catch because she just keeps disappearing. But she can teach you vampiric magic, and so there's a whole lot of extra stuff. It's quite extensive, this mod. Do explore it. I said there's a lot of stuff in it. There's a lot of thought gone into it. So so that's a lot of fun. You also get new potions and things. You can get vampire cures and things you can now mix up as potions. So it is, as I say, quite extensive. There's a lot of other tweaks and things you've got with Zero's mods. For example, you've got a thing for traditional witchcraft. So you can make sort of dark witches. You can make these kinds of things. You can also replace that hermit in what's it called, Granite Falls, if you've got Outdoor Retreat, and make a kind of witch in a cottage, if you like. There's all things like that. You can make sort of all communing with spirits, that kind of witchcraft, if you want to go down that sort of dark route with your Realm of Magic. Got Snowy 95 if you wanted to go Harry Potter with it, so obviously you can combine the two. There's various other tweaks to magic and things which Zero creates, which you can use just ordinary spellcasters, but also obviously if you do download the vampire witches, then you've got options to add to that as well. You've also, in terms of other occults, you've got the option to make Time Lords, which I think is hilarious. Obviously you need to get to work because a Time Lord is an alien, right? And you can then, as I say, you can turn them into a Time Lord and they can regenerate, and that's a lot of fun. There's also a lot of stuff in that. If you are a Doctor Who fan and you do want to go down that route, obviously yes, Zero gives you the ability to make the Time Lords in the first place. There is a mod which I have found, and I've put a link here, which apparently allows you to download a working TARDIS. It looks great. Problem I've had is I haven't been able to download this. If you go on the Patreon page, it says you can't download it unless you pay for it, even though it says on the website that there's a free one and a premium version, but no. And the other download link just doesn't work for me, but maybe you'll have more luck with it, so do have a look. If that doesn't work, someone has made a lovely piece of CC, which is actually, it's a wardrobe, but it's dressed as a TARDIS, so it's not obviously working TARDIS, but it works as a wardrobe. But if you just want that for decoration, that is an option. Come back here, Lombard. So yes, Zero definitely, well, as I say, having a long look, there are fantastic mods on there. There are a lot of stuff for occult things. There are also things on there for making mermaids less boring. Basically all the occults are covered. If you found aliens boring, well, turn them into Time Lords. You've got spellcasters, vampires, you've got things to improve both of those. You've also got, as I say, a way of making hybrids. Mermaids, you've also got a way to make like more powerful siren songs, full control of the weather, actual things, because at the moment they are so dull. Mermaids can be made really interesting with this, honestly, so definitely check that out. Oh, you missed him! He had to go and rescue next door's cat. He's an idiot. Right. Okay, yes. Finally, as I say, there is a lot of stuff to check out on Zero's page on the website and the Patreon page, so do that. But, yes, another thing that I really love is the occult activities. So, don't know if I've mentioned, I know Little Miss Sam does these away activity. No, not away activities, that's Sims for me. Sorry, social activity mods. So you can have a little thing. You'll get a little thing on your phone which says activities, and you've got a whole load of them. As you can see them here, I've got them. And the occult activities specifically come from Zero, and that is really useful. You can send them off, gathering ingredients, that kind of thing. And they will come back with them in their inventory and so on, and it's very useful. Obviously, like all the things, be careful because you're not quite sure how long it takes. Sometimes, if those Sims have got to go to work and you forget and you send them, oh, I can't get them back now. It sometimes doesn't work to get them back, but anyway. But that's a good little thing. As I say, there is a lot of stuff there. There is also there are a lot of new spells there, but I should mention at this point the problem with the Spellbook Injector. Now, as I say, I don't particularly do modding myself, so I don't know all the details, but basically, for a lot of these things you will require the XML injector. You'll sometimes see that requires that written on there. I've linked that in the description, very easy to find. You'll find it on Mother Sims, and that is regularly updated. Not a problem. When modders want to make new spells, then that requires a separate mod called the Spellbook Injector. Again, I've linked it in the description, but the problem with this is apparently it's no longer being updated. And I'm not quite sure what's happened exactly, what the creator doesn't want to update it anymore. But I don't know the details, but apparently what's happening is it's becoming quite unreliable, and some people, I think particularly on MacBooks, there's a problem with it. It's not working for people. So, and apparently it's very complicated, so no one else kind of wants to take on the challenge of updating it, because it's quite difficult apparently. So a lot of people who do make new spells have kind of said, well, I'm not going to bother to make any more now because the Spellbook Injector is not working for so many people, so the new spells won't work. So bear that in mind. At the moment it's working fine on my computer, I don't know, but apparently it doesn't on some people's. So with any things where they add new spells, they look a lot of fun, but just be aware they will need the Spellbook Injector, and that may not work on everyone's computer. Yes, for example, there's a good example of that, the Kato, is that what you say? Anyway, who does some very good new traits, new hobby traits and things, and which I have mentioned in things. They've created a set of forbidden spells, which again are a lot of fun, but I know they have mentioned, somebody asked on there if they were going to be making any more spells, and they said they weren't because the Spellbook Injector was just not being updated anymore. So yes, again, forbidden spells, that's something to look into. It's great fun, but bear that in mind. The problem with the Spellbook Injector. Okay, so back to more occult mods. So, Ilkavel, is it Ilkavel? I don't. This person has created some fantastic mods, which I'll also talk about in the family gameplay one, because there's a lot of those as well. But there's some really fun. There's some really fun ones for occults. My particular favourite being the careers for spellcasters, because it always annoyed me that all the occult packs, none of them come with careers for occults, and it just bugged me, because to my mind it doesn't make sense. Why would you've got this sim who's dressed up as this lovely witch and then goes to work in an office? It doesn't make sense. She'd just zap her boss to get a promotion. I mean, yeah. So there's a lovely little set of careers there, which I think are really, really nice because it just makes more sense. And they're all ones that you have a choice to send your sim off to work, or they can work from home, so they get something to do. This is maybe not everyone's cup of tea, because I know not everyone else, but because you always get the choice, I think it works well. And you've got a broomstick maker, you've got wand maker, you've got a healer, instant mungos, obviously. You've got, there may be some Harry Potter references here. You've got a master duelist, and you've got Quidditch player. No. Copyright infringement there. Anyway, these are all a lot of fun. The Quidditch player one, there's also an event that links with this as well, so you get this Quidditch, so you can actually have a Quidditch match event as well. I'm trying to think which ones. So for the wand maker and the broomstick maker, what you get with both of those is you'll have the ability to, if they're in this career, then click on the woodwork table and they can make broomstick or make wand, which they can then sell. If you incidentally like the idea of being able to make wands and broomsticks, but you don't want to have the career, then back on Zero they have a mod for that exact thing. In fact, they mention this one and say, yeah, well, if you don't want it to be a career, you can do this. Presumably there may be some compatibility issues there, so I don't know if you can have both of them, but yes, the Spellcaster Careers are a lot of fun. Along with that, you also get a magic school for teens. I don't know, do you need the work from home mod? I think it works with that. You also get some new aspirations. You get a Dracula aspiration, which is quite fun, and you also get a Vampire Slayer one, and this creates a whole new... so this gives you a whole new... not exactly life state, but if you become a Vampire Slayer, you get special abilities, skills, you get extra strength and so on, so that you can kind of conquer the vampires, kind of thing. So that gives you a whole new area to explore. You also get some fun events you get here. So for example, you get like Witch's Sabbath, Vampire Initiation, those kinds of things. So these are run like, the party type social events. So they are a lot of fun. And then the final one I want to talk about is called Little Miss Sam, who has got a number of, obviously got an awful lot of mods on there. There are also a number of ones for improving specifically the spellcasters. So you've got better familiars, for example, because familiars we all know are a little bit naff. You've got a range of like improved practical spells. On that note, if you go back to Zero, who it's fair to say is not exactly a fan of the Bust the Dust kit. Yeah, read the Patreon page, you'll see what I mean. And I'm totally with them on this. But they've done a little thing for making sure that you can actually scrubberoo dust, because it doesn't work, apparently. They just forgot. There's all sorts of things they forgot in that kit, like including haunted houses and tiny houses. Apparently they got missed out, so they've included them. But anyway, there's a various things for fixing that. But yes, improve practical spells as well, because some of them just... there's also a load of new potions you can get from Little Miss Sam as well, which are great. But again, obviously, bear in mind the problems with the Spellbook Injectors. It's Zero, isn't it? The one that's... Yeah, as I say, there's a ton of stuff on there. They have made a mod for allowing you to brew herbal remedies from Outdoor Retreat in the cauldron, so you get much better integration with the herbalism and the potion making song, which I think is really nice. They've also got one where you change all of the ingredients and things if you want. Various options. So then, yeah. The other final thing to say, obviously, is there's an awful lot of CC for making occults more fun, and yes, say, if you're seeing my gameplay things from the Realm of Magic, you will see this. You will probably have noticed, for example, when I did the Realm of Magic ones, and I've got a little family of witches all wearing cute little witchy dresses, and you notice they all have elf ears and other fun little things. All CC. So I have listed here a bunch of... These are just some CC creators, so obviously there are hundreds and hundreds of more, but these are just some ones that I've got there CC in my game, and I really like it. So yes, you've got your options for elf ears, and you've got various fairy wings, angel wings, sort of demonic version wings, all sorts of things. And you've got things for livening up your mermaids, giving them gills and creepy little things, and just making them more interesting. So all of these things are possible, as well as other little things. For example, if you are a bit annoyed, because I know I was, Realm of Magic, I quite like the aesthetic they went for. They went for a sort of slightly grungy kind of aesthetic, and I quite like it, but I was a little bit disappointed that they didn't go... It felt a little bit middle of the road. They didn't kind of go one way or the other. They didn't want to go into kind of dark, kind of witchy stuff, but they kind of did that with vampires. It was very creepy, gothic, so that was nice. But then they didn't want to go too Harry Potter with it. But it made it kind of a bit stuck in the middle. And I just would have liked a few, like, at least, you know, a witch's hat and a wizard's hat and a cloak, and just a few things for somebody who wanted to go a bit more Harry Potter with it, or you could have had different options to make it a bit more creepy if you wanted to. Not an option. Now, of course, if you do have the spooky stuff pack, there is a witch's hat in that with a little spider hanging off the top. Now, there's a CC one somebody's created. It's very, very, very simple. It's just the hat without the spider. But because that's like a mesh colour, I think you would need to have spooky stuff back in order to have that. But there are a whole host of other people that have created their own variations on witches' hats, and I'm pretty sure that for at least for some of them you do not need spooky stuff. So if you don't have that, you can get other ones, and there's some lovely ones. There's the old-fashioned kind of, you know, kind of Terry Pratchett style ones, but there's also some other ones. There's little spring bloom ones, so you can have, you know, hats for all occasions, and you can have kind of wizardy ones. There's also some lovely custom wands out there, lovely snowflake ones that I really like those. And there's nice little, you know, dresses and jewellery and just everything. If you're into CC, then you can make your occults look much more fun and kind of go down whichever route you want to go with it. And as I say, definitely have a look in the gallery as well. I know somebody with way too much time on their hands. No, somebody very talented has made Hogwarts on there. It's absolutely fantastic. And you can get some various other little ones. If you don't have enough room for that, you've got little things like Hagrid's hut and various little things. Plumbella actually did a fantastic video exploring the Hogwarts one, and that was really lovely. So if you're going to get the sort of Harry Potter pack from Sorry 95, look into that. But yes, as I say, as always, all of these mods were they were fine working at time of going to press, so to speak. In particular with trait mods, there will often be patches that do muck them up. But at least at the moment, all of these creators are updating their mods as they go along. So hopefully they will be fine. And I know Snowy 95 is currently updating both the Supernatural pack and the Harry Potter one. So you might want to hold off a little bit on downloading that until it's updated. Look on her Tumblr, you'll see updates on that. So, yeah, so I hope you enjoy this. If you are getting a little bit bored with the occults in your game, this is a fantastic way to liven it up. And as I say, if you do have any more mods that you think really improve occult gameplay, then do let me know below. I know there are some other ones out there. There's one that does these amazing sort of hybrids and so on, but I haven't tested it out yet because I'm a bit worried, oh, is that going to mess my game up? And I know Zero's Vampire Witchcraft works really well, so that's one I'm kind of used to using. But yeah, if you've tested out some others, let me know, because I always like trying out new mods. They're fun. And I should be back shortly with a discussion of mods for family gameplay. So, see you soon.